We have made it to a Friday. It was close, but we made it to a Friday. It's the 8th day of July, 2022. I am Dan Koontz. About 5 minutes ago, right before we were getting ready to go on the air, I took a big sip out of my Red Bull and I spilt it all over my shirt. So I had to run back home and change clothes. It's going to be one of those days today. How you doing? Sunshine, 63 degrees. Bountiful sunshine in the foreseeable future. A little breezy today. We're still under the influence of a high pressure ridge, but it's kind of flat. It's going to allow an upper level trough to kind of slide in over the top. So we'll see the wind pick up a little bit over the weekend, but nothing we can't handle. And then here comes some pretty hot weather for the middle of July. Forecast details are coming up, including the long-term forecast from our friends at the Climate Prediction Center. We'll have that for you. News, bunch of it, an adult portion of news, but don't worry, we do not check identification. Our very own Jefferson Robbins had a chance to interview Logan Schneider yesterday. He was the gentleman who was operating the tractor and the sprayer on Wednesday afternoon when a helicopter landed like on top of him. A fascinating story. We'll have that when we get to news. Sports, the Mariners took the first of the 4-game set against Toronto. I watched a little bit of the game last night, and we talked about this yesterday. There were probably more Blue Jay fans in the stands than Mariner fans. They travel very well, but doesn't matter. Mariners get the W. For the Wenatchee Apple Sox, it's the same thing we've seen for the last half a dozen games or so. They get a lot of runners on base, but they just can't seem to get them all the way to home plate, and that was the problem last night. They lost their third game to Kelowna. Now they're going to be in Nanaimo. We'll talk about that. Plus racing at the WVSO is coming up this weekend on Saturday night. Big Bump to Pass is coming back. We'll preview that. And in the back half of the program, in case you missed it on Wednesday, we're going to replay the interview I did with Mariah Thornock, who is the brand new executive director of the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. Kenny Sturgeon has moved on. Mariah got the gig, and we had a great interview with Mariah at the museum on Tuesday. We aired it Wednesday, and if you missed it, and you're going to learn a lot about Mariah and what her plans are for the museum, we'll have that for you in the back half of the program, and let's get going. Let's start with our tour around the valley. Days are getting a little bit shorter by about 30 seconds a day. Nothing we can't handle, but the sun is now going down over the Wenatchee side of the valley before 9 p.m. now. Beautiful view. Look at that. Sunshine bathing up on Birch Mountain there in Sunny Slope. The shadows are kind of keeping most of East Wenatchee not quite in sunlight yet. The Wenatchee side of the river is looking good, and the Columbia River is looking good as well. But boy, they're got mosquitoes. They've been talking about that. We're going to have this story for you, by the way, tonight in the news about how the Chelan County PUD is planning on attacking the mosquito problem. Usually here in the Wenatchee Valley, it's not an issue. But this year it is. With the cool, wet spring and a lot of standing water, the mosquitoes have had the upper hand for the most part. We'll have that story tonight with the news. Camera 2. By the way, the good captain is driving the bus today, and we are looking at the truck on a highway by a large body of water. You messed me up yesterday, and you're doing it again today. What camera are we using? That's the Stamen Flats camera? Okay, I believe you. You must have that zoomed. Stamen Flats is near the decision point on US 97A as you're heading up towards Chelan. Either you head up the Navarre Coulee and end up at the Lake Chelan State Park, or you keep right on going and you dump yourself into the lake at Pat and Mike's. So that's the Stamen Flats camera, so that's got to be the Columbia River we're looking at. And that's definitely 97 that we're looking at there. Thank you, Captain, for that. Camera number 3. Let's see if he's going to mess me up here. And he is. Okay. I want to say the monitor camera. Okay. I'll try one. That's not the monitor camera. Omi Gardens? That's the Steins camera? Okay, you have that pointed over towards the foothills up and around by Peshastin Pinnacles Park and Alala Canyon, right? Yes, there we go. See? So just outside of Dryden, you can see the orchards hanging in there. A little breezy up on the Steins camera. So we turn it one way, we got Cashmere. We turn it the other way, we got Dryden. We go halfway between those, and we have that, the Peshastin Pinnacles Park, just out of view to your right, and Alala Canyon and the orchards there. And camera 4, a large mountain. Don't tell me. That's Detroit. Detroit, Michigan is what we're looking at here on our camera. Thank you very much. Finally, I got one right. Good morning to the Motor City of Detroit. Yeah, I've never seen you look better. Tucker, I'd like to talk to you right after the program. Nope, you're not fired, Tucker. Well, we're going to suspend you with pay. From the Climate Prediction Center, I want to take a look at the long-term forecast. This is your 6 to 10-day outlook. They posted this yesterday afternoon. This is what we're looking at. This becomes valid on July 13th, so next week. This is basically all of next week and really for a great deal of the month. Again, they issued this yesterday afternoon. As you can see, for the Pacific Northwest, we have a better than 50-50 chance of seeing temperatures above normal. And as you can see in Montana, it's going to be downright hot. Montana, Wyoming, and a section of Idaho going to be well above normal, and we are going to be pretty darn warm here. In the Northwest, you want to cool off, you head down to the Carolinas and Kentucky. That's where the cooler air is. As far as precipitation is concerned over the same time period, again, of course, we're in July, which is pretty much the driest month of the year traditionally, and we got about a 50-50 chance of having normal precipitation, which basically means about nothing. So there you go. Looks like things are going to be a little rainy, though, in Utah, in northern Arizona, and a pretty good swath of Nevada. So sunny and dry is your long-term forecast, but for the next 7 days, it looks something like this. Sunshine today, high of about 83. By the way, we hit 80 yesterday. Our normal high is 85. We've had 5 days in a row now with our afternoon high temperature below normal. That's going to change by the time we get to Monday. 83 today, lots of sunshine. Again, a little breezy, a northwest wind about 5 to 11 miles an hour, gusting up around 20 at times this afternoon. It's going to be breezy overnight, too, with 57 for the overnight low. Sunshine for the most part on Saturday with just a couple of passing clouds. Again, a little on the windy side, especially Saturday night. But on Saturday night, that upper level trough that's going to swing over the top of that flat ridge of high pressure will be gone. And that means a dome of high pressure is going to start building up starting on Monday. Look at our high Monday, 90. And we'll get to 96. Then we cool down just a little bit on Wednesday and Thursday. But this looks like we're in for a long stretch of sunny and warm weather. Again, very pleasant with a little bit of wind on Friday and Saturday. Sunday, we're done with the wind, and then we start warming up, and we're looking really good if you like sunny and warm temperatures, which is pretty typical for this time of year. This has been an untypical weather year, to say the least. It's 8 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have your headlines on this Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
Out of a couple of clouds popping up here and there. It's a beautiful morning, lots of sunshine, 63 degrees, lower 80s today, lower 80s on Saturday, mid 80s on Sunday, a little breezy at times over the weekend, and then hot weather for most of next week. It's about 10 minutes after the hour. The scenario is this. It's a nice, quiet summertime morning. You're out in the orchard, driving a tractor, pulling a sprayer, and out of nowhere, a helicopter crashes on top of you. That's what happened to Logan Schneider on Wednesday morning, just a couple of days before the East Wenatchee man was supposed to turn 19. He will, by the way. The Hillard UH-12 aircraft became snared in power lines while drying off a neighboring orchard, and it crashed into the orchard on Weaver Road near Orondo. That orchard is owned by Logan's brother. Logan, a former Eastmont High School student athlete, managed to get out from under the wreckage and save the helicopter pilot as the aircraft and the tractor, both consumed by flames. Thanks to his action, both he and the pilot survived. A little painful, but non-life-threatening injuries. Recovering at home yesterday, we had a chance to catch up with Logan Snyder, and he describes exactly what happened.
I got a text from my brother asking if I could go blow off his cherries, and I said, yeah, I can do that for you. So then I headed over there, and I was on my last row of blowing off the cherries, and I saw the helicopter, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I had noise-canceling headphones on, and all of a sudden, I just hear something so loud above me, and I look up, and I see the helicopter hit the power lines, and then it come crashing down, and it hit me on the tractor and pinned me against the steering wheel. And somehow, I don't know how, but I managed to get myself out. And when I got out, I could hear the pilot screaming for help. So right then and there, I knew I had to go back and get him out. So I looked behind me, and I saw him hanging upside down in his seat, and he couldn't get his belt or like his buckle off. So then I ran over there, and there's flames everywhere, and I had to reach in and unclip him. And then when I unclipped him, I pulled him a couple trees out away from there. Then he finally got to his feet, and then that's when everything just basically exploded on fire, and there's fires like 30 feet in the air. They took me in the ambulance with the guy, and we went to the hospital. I'm burned on my arm, and I got cuts all over my back. I'm lucky to be alive.
Incredible story there. Two teenagers who alarmed Eastmont school officials by charging through the halls of Eastmont High School. That was back in May. They have pled guilty now to charges including burglary and obstructing police. The two boys, both 15 years old, have been expelled for gang-related disciplinary offenses. Back on May 31st, they entered Eastmont Junior High, ran through the halls wearing gang colors. One of them was carrying a knife. After entering their pleas last Friday, one youth was given 30 days of confinement plus 12 months supervision after he's released. The other, who carried the knife and tried to kick a police officer while being arrested, he pled to 4 counts. He earned 60 days plus 2 years of supervision. Judge Brian Huber also banned the two from Eastmont school property and ordered them not to associate with gang members. A Chelan cannabis farmer accused of defrauding the state has pled guilty to a lesser charge and has repaid more than $17,000. 59-year-old Jeffrey Oberfelder pled guilty last week to 1 count of third-degree theft, and he was sentenced to 30 days of confinement with 27 days to be served on home monitoring. The Department of Social and Health Services said Oberfelder received $17,700 in food benefits from the state over 3 years without declaring more than $1 million that his business earned in cannabis sales. He was initially charged with first-degree theft, perjury, and false verification for public assistance. Oberfelder maintained his innocence while he entered his plea. Court records show he has now reimbursed the full amount to DSHS. And a Spelin woman has died more than a week after a highway crash took place. The Washington State Patrol said that 76-year-old Darlene M. Wilder passed away yesterday at Sacred Heart Medical Center in Spokane. Wilder was the passenger who was critically injured back on June 27th in an accident on Highway 174 and Lehigh Road. This is just south of Bridgeport. Troopers say the driver of her vehicle, Kelly Boozer Wilder, pulled her 2015 Subaru Outback off Lehigh Road onto the path of a 2006 Jeep Commander traveling west onto the highway. The Jeep struck the passenger side of Wilder's vehicle. Keely Wilder was cited for failure to yield in that collision. The oncoming driver, by the way, was not injured. Wenatchee's popular Saddle Rock Trail is going to be closed starting July 18th through the end of October. The rock remediation project wraps up then. The city of Wenatchee said that the trailhead will remain open, however. Also, the trailhead near Dry Gulch Falls Dry Gulch Trails will be open as well. The Department of Ecology funded project involves removing piles of waste rocks that show elevated arsenic levels at the former mining site. The project's been ongoing since 2019. The city said this final phase of the project will also include grading the main trail, adding drainage, and the restoration of habitat. Quincy Police, the Quincy Police Chief, he's warning residents that his department has no affiliation with a fundraising effort that's apparently using their name. Chief Keith Siebert said a concerned citizen contacted his office about a letter he received from an organization called Citizens Behind the Badge, asking for donations with the words Quincy Police right at the top of the page. Siebert said he's never even heard of the organization. None of the money they've raised comes back to the Quincy Police Department. The Citizens Behind the Badge Facebook page says the organization is a registered nonprofit based in Virginia that was formed in 2020 to create greater respect and appreciation for law enforcement officers. Quincy is among several law enforcement agencies nationwide that are raising concerns over the use of their name by Citizens Behind the Badge in fundraising efforts. And finally, Representative Kim Schreier will be in the Wenatchee Valley a little bit later on this morning. She's going to be visiting with cherry growers. She wants to learn more about how the earlier cold snap this spring and the recent rains may affect this year's cherry harvest. Representative Schreier will also tour the cherry line at Stamilt. She's going to be learning more about the process of growing and selling cherries. She's also going to be touring Box Canyon Fruit, Columbia Fruit Packers, Bluebird, and Peshaston High Up Growers. The meeting with the growers will be held at 3135 Warehouse Road in Wenatchee. The tour will be held at 10 a.m. and a roundtable with cherry growers will be held at 11 a.m. Representative Schreier is the only member of the House Agriculture Committee from the Pacific Northwest. That's what's making news at 17 minutes after the hour. Yeah, it was a busy news day yesterday. It's going to be a busy news day today. Grant Olson is taking a well-deserved day off. He gets a three-day weekend. Good for him. Jefferson Robbins will be in the anchor chair. I'll be handling both sports and weather tonight. With a preview.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, get ready for a slow warm-up beginning today with temperatures by the end of the weekend and next week into the low to mid-90s. Dan, you'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Dan also has the latest on the Mariners and the Apple Sox. Dan's a busy guy. That and all the day's news stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. Don't forget if you want to chime in and send us a news tip. In fact, our interview with Logan Schneider was a news tip that we appreciated a great deal from his mom. And get a hold of us. You can go to our homepage, ncwlife.com, click on the Contact Us icon. You can go to our Facebook page and use the Messenger app. You can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com. When we come back, Mariners win, Apple Sox don't, drive fast, turn left, and indoor football and sports. We'll be playing some video games. With the obscure holiday, we'll have some celebrity birthdays, today in history and opinion from Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and my conversation with the new executive director of the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center, Mariah Thornock. It's all coming up. You're watching a Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Things have changed in the motorsports industry. Short supply and high demand have emptied showrooms. But what hasn't changed are the experts at Doghouse Motorsports. They are here to help you reserve the machine of your choice. Stop by and check out the latest 2022 Husqvarna motorcycles, UBCO, and Intense electric vehicles, and other new additions to the Doghouse Motorsports family of high-quality products.
Over the last year and a half, the industry's absolutely changed, but the Doghouse is still your best option for all your power sports needs.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
20 minutes after the hour, Dylan Moore had one of the most unique home runs I have seen in quite some time. Marco Gonzalez pitched really well. He only gave up a couple of earned runs in the pitching into the seventh inning. Mariners win game one of their four-game series 8-3 over the Blue Jays at T-Mobile Park. Cal Raleigh had a home run. Gidio Suarez also homered, drove in 3 runs for the Mariners. But wait till you see the highlights, especially Dylan Moore's home run.
Went 6 innings, just giving up the 1 earned run. Overall this year, 87 2/3, 49 strikeouts, over 32 walks. Right back, Marcos snares his shoulder high. Toro the low throw, and it's on to first base for the double play. Number 7 gets it started for the Mariners.
First and third for the Mariners with 1 out, no score, and here is Carlos Santana.
Smoked into center field for a base hit. Here comes Julio. Carlos Santana, 4 batters into the ball game. He puts the Mariners in front. It's an RBI single, 1-0. And a solid line drive. It's on the changeup. Situation for the Mariners, taking advantage of some base runners early. Here comes Cal Raleigh. 2 outs, runners on the corners for the Mariners. Ground ball. Espinal boots it. Can't field it cleanly. Crawford scores. Suarez is off the bag and out at third base.
Gabriel Moreno, 22-year-old rookie catcher for the Blue Jays, hitting .280 on the season. And another swinging bunt. Suarez charges, throws, doesn't get him, and it sails down the line. Gurriel in to score. Chapman will stop at third, Moreno into second. And the Blue Jays, well, they're not hitting rockets this inning, but they've got their first run of the night.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how hard you hit them. It's how many runs are going to touch home plate.
Out to left field. This is driven back. Gurriel fielding for the wall. And it's over the fence. It's out of his glove. It's an assist from Gurriel to left. Dylan Moore, a home run with a nice bow wrapped around it.
Gurriel had a chance for it, but it glanced off the glove and lands on the other side of the fence. Holy smokes.
In and out of the glove like a wet bar of soap.
Thank you very much. You know, Jose Canseco has said, I had it worse.
Just could not squeeze it. And it's Moore's 5th home run of the season to make it 3-1 Mariners.
Suarez.
Pulled, fair ball past Chapman. Not an easy thing to do. Crawford is in. Santana motors home. Suarez throttles back to first base. It's a 2-run single. The Mariners hang a crooked number in the 3rd inning. It's a 5-1 Mariners lead. And a solid base hit. That's on the breaking ball. Right down the line. Mariners have hit the ball hard a few times here in this inning. Suarez drives in a couple.
So 3 consecutive hits here by the Mariners. 1 out, runner at first.
Smoked. Right field. Back and gone. Home run. Pour it on. Cal Raleigh.
Man, jumping all over Lawrence. 4 consecutive hits.
Out in a hurry. Number 11. And the Mariners blow it open. It's a 7-1 lead.
Errors, fewest in baseball. Swinging a ground ball to the hole at short. Diving stop by J.P. Crawford. Gets up, 1 up, throw to first in time. Holy smokes, what a play by J.P. Crawford. You talk about some great defense. The Mariners continue to make incredible plays. J.P. Crawford diving to his right, gets up on the grass in left field, a 1-hop strike to Carlos Santana, just in time to rob Chapman. Eugenio Suarez.
This is pelted out to left, and this is gone. Watch out, Edgar's incoming. Hey, Eugenio Suarez, number 14. It's the Mariners' 3rd round tripper tonight. No help needed. It's an 8-3 Mariners lead. This is crushed. 89 miles an hour at the bottom of the zone. He drops the barrel on it. Sits, including a double. Frazier out in left field. He puts it away, and the Mariners win it. They are hot. They've won 5 in a row, and they get back to 500 for the first time since early May.
Yeah, back to 500. The Mariners are 42-42. May 3rd was the last time they were at 500. In fact, if you go back to June 19th, they were 10 games under 500. They've gone 13-3 since then. They've won their last 5 games in a row. Game 2 of the 4-game series is tonight. George Kirby, the rookie, will take on the Jays' Ross Stripling. Game time is 7:10. You can watch it on Root Sports Northwest or on Apple Plus if you have that app. Apple Sox, Garrett Goris tossed 6 2/3 scoreless innings in relief, but the Wenatchee Apple Sox lost to Kelowna 4-2 last night at Elk Stadium. Goris came in relief with runners at 2nd and 3rd in the bottom of the 1st inning. The Apple Sox were already trailing 4-0, and then he retired each of the next 9 hitters in order Before he allowed his first base runner, he struck out 5, including 2 in the 7th when he stranded the bases loaded. The Apple Sox scored twice in the 5th inning, but they stranded 11 men on base. That's been a real problem. That's the 3rd straight game that the Apple Sox have stranded at least 10 base runners without getting them across the plate. They did score 5 runs in 3 games against the Falcons, despite entering Thursday's contest, the beginning of the series, with the 3rd best offense in the league, and now they can't seem to score any runs. Joichiro Oyama picked up a pair of hits. He stole 3 bases. He leads the West Coast League with 22 stolen bases. Oyama and Corey Jarrell scored in the 5th. Jarrell struck out, but he got to first base on a dropped passed ball. Jarrell advancing to 3rd on a base hit by Oyama, who moved to 2nd on a throw to 3rd. Michael Davini drew a walk, but the pass ball scored both Jarrell and Oyama, and that was it for the Apple Sox. They continue the road trip. They're in Nanaimo. They're going to take on the Night Owls tonight. First pitch at 6:35. Former Brewster standout Quincy Vassar will start, by the way, for the Apple Sox. It's Kids Bike Night tomorrow night at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. Kids under 12 get in free, and the WVSO, with help from their various sponsors, will be giving away over 100 bikes. The Johnson Electric Bump to Pass highlights the action, along with the Dixie and air conditioning Thunder Cars, the Jerry's Auto Supply Pro Late models, the Plum Perfect Road Runners, and the Angel Bell Bonds Bandoleros. Gates open at 4:30. Racing starts at 8. Tickets at WVSO.com. Don't forget, tomorrow night, it's the America West Bowl 3. Our local indoor football team, the Wenatchee Valley Skyhawks, who started out really slow but are now playing red hot, have made it all the way to the championship. They'll take on the undefeated Tri-City Rushes tomorrow night at 8 o'clock at the Harpo Center in Pasco. Go Skyhawks. We'll have all of the scores for you on Monday. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this 8th day of July. Happy, your obscure holiday of the day today, happy Video Games Day. Today, they're everywhere now. They are everywhere, from Pong way back in the 70s to the VR headsets that I wear today. For you, the best-selling video consoles of all time. You can't play a video game unless you have something to play it in. Number 10, Xbox One. Number 9, Super Nintendo. Number 8, the Nintendo Entertainment System. Number 7, the Nintendo Switch. The 6th best-selling video console of all time is the Xbox 360. They don't make that anymore. Number 5, the PlayStation 3. Number 4, Nintendo Wii. Number 3, the original PlayStation. The 2nd highest-selling console of all time is PlayStation 4. And the number 1 selling video console of all time is the PlayStation 2. So PlayStation has numbers 1, 2, and 3 in the all-time best-selling video consoles. Now, the best-selling video games of all time. Number 10, Tetris. It sold 43 million copies since it was introduced in the late 1980s. Number 9, Wii Fit Plus. 43 million so far. Number 8 on the best-selling video games of all time, Mario Kart. Number 7, Pokemon Red, Green, Blue, Yellow. Number 8, Super Mario Brothers. Goes all the way back to 1985. We used to play that a lot. Number 5, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, the 4th biggest selling video game of all time, Wii Sports. Number 3, Tetris Mobile. Number 2, Grand Theft Auto 5. And the number 1 selling video game of all time, by far, 238 million copies have been sold of this video game. Tucker, you want to guess? Minecraft. Number 1, 238 million copies have been sold over the last 10 years. I have an Xbox One and a lot of Xbox One games. But a few months ago, I went ahead and got an Oculus Quest 2 headset, VR headset, and I haven't even played my Xbox since I got my VR headset. It's fun. Happy Video Game Day today. Let's move forward at the bottom of the hour today in history. 75 years ago today, reports out of Roswell, New Mexico begin to float in. Apparently, a UFO has crashed in Roswell, New Mexico. It became known as the Roswell Ufo Incident. The U.S. military at the time said it was a weather balloon that crashed. 50 years later, the U.S. military said it was a nuclear test surveillance balloon that crashed. somebody knows what happened. Whoever really knows what happened ain't saying much of anything, but they're having some sort of celebration. It's the 75th anniversary of the famous Roswell UFO incident, so they're having some sort of commemorations down there in Roswell, New Mexico, which, by the way, I have been there, and it's pretty much in the middle of nowhere. The strangest rock and roll tour of all time got underway today. July 8th, 1967, the Monkees begin their 29-date North American tour, opening for the Monkees, the Jimi Hendrix Experience. After this was all said and done, Jimmy's manager said it was a publicity stunt. They knew that the Monkees and Jimi Hendrix don't exactly draw the same kind of crowd. The Monkees invited Jimi Hendrix. They love Jimi Hendrix. They said, "We want you to be a big star here in America." So he was the opening act. After 6 shows, by the way, the Jimi Hendrix Experience was dropped as the opening act for the Monkees. And finally, July 8th, 2011, 11 years ago today, the Space Shuttle Atlantis is launched. It was the 33rd and final mission of the U.S. Space Shuttle program. It was a very simple... You see, there's only 4 astronauts' names on the badge because only 4 astronauts took part. That was it. And the whole job was to resupply the International Space Station. So it began with a huge deal back in 1981, and it kind of flittered away 30 years later, 11 years ago today, with the launch of the 33rd and final Space Shuttle mission. Let's do some birthdays and anniversaries as we head on down the road. John D. Rockefeller, born in the state in 1839, the wealthiest American by far. Now, you have to consider his wealth and the gross domestic product of the United States at the time. You have to adjust it for inflation, and using his wealth as it was then and what would it be today. Sorry, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and Warren Buffett and Bill Gates. You're not even close to this guy. John D. Rockefeller, at one point, at the height of his fortune was 3% of the gross domestic product of the entire country. That's impressive. John D. Rockefeller, the richest American ever. Born in the state in 1839, and like a lot of rich people, lived a long time. Didn't die until 1937 at the age of 97. Johnny Johnson, born in the state in 1924, the American pianist and songwriter. He was Chuck Berry's pianist for most of Chuck Berry's career. He played piano on all of Chuck Berry's hits, and really well. He probably co-wrote most of the hits that were credited solely to Chuck Berry. Towards the end of his life, he sued Chuck Berry for songwriting royalties and songwriting credits, but the judge said, sorry, it's too late. You should have done it back in 1960 instead of what you did. We miss Johnny Johnson, the great pianist. He got a Congressional Gold Medal. Hall of Fame class of 2001. Next time you play a Chuck Berry record, listen for Johnny's piano. It carries it. Speaking of rock and roll legends, Joe B. Maudlin, the American bass player who's 1/3 of the Crickets. Joe B. Maudlin of the Crickets, my all-time favorite group. Buddy Holly and the Crickets, born in the state in 1940. We miss Joe. He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And finally, Kevin Bacon is 64 years old today. Happy birthday to Kevin. And finally, a very special anniversary going out. Throw it up there. There they are. Eric and Marion celebrating, well, the lovely and talented Eric and the even lovelier and more talented Marion are celebrating 3 years of wedded bliss and 1 year that wasn't so hot. I'm just kidding. We love you both. Happy 4th anniversary to Eric and Marion. Eric, you done good. Marion, we'll talk later. 34 minutes after the hour, after a break, an opinion from Mike Mad Dog Magnotti. And in case you missed it earlier in this week, we're going to replay the interview I did with Mariah Thornock, who is just 1 week into her brand new job as the executive director of the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. It's coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
It's the NCW Life Community Calendar, brought to you by Central Washington Water. The Super Summer Adventure Series returns in July at the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. It's all about having fun with science. Wii science classes for incoming first graders, Secrets of Science for second and third graders, and Wild About Science for incoming fourth, fifth, and sixth graders. Classes begin July 11th. Register now by visiting WenatcheeValleyMuseum.org.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? With today's home values, this is the perfect time to sell and make those dreams real. When you work with a world-class agent at Coldwell Banker, you benefit from trusted guidance and our revolutionary Seller's Assurance Program to make your home sale more rewarding than ever. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams.
Hi, I'm Chuck Dronan, Managing Member at Eplodolin Retirement and Assisted Living. It's been a tough year for all of us, but especially for those working and living in senior care facilities. Over the course of these many difficult months, our staff at Eplodolin has been vigilant in adhering to federal and state guidelines to protect and assure the safety of our residents and their caregivers. If you're in need of assisted living for a loved one, give us a call at Eplodolin. We're here for you.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether,
we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, many years ago, when I was a sex crimes investigator, I handled a brutal rape case. Bad enough, but I also found out that the rapist was HIV positive. And back then, AIDS was a death sentence, and you didn't find out if you were infected for 6 months. Well, we did catch the guy, and the gal wasn't infected, and the bad guy died in prison about 5 years later. And when I called the gal to let her know her attacker was dead, she said, "Oh, that's so sad. A wasted human life." Well, smart gal. She didn't let the bad guy take anything more from her, and she had moved on. Here was a gal who had every reason to be angry and bitter, but instead, she let go of her anger and even had compassion for the guy. She's someone who learned when you hold on to your anger resentment, and bitterness, and hold it against someone who has harmed you, it's like eating rat poison and then waiting for the rat to die. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Traditional values and innovation in honoring the life of each family we serve is part of the ministry of Heritage Memorial Chapel. Our staff is committed to walk with your family with compassion through this time of grief. We are here to help and here to serve, the right kind of help when you need it most. Heritage Memorial Chapel.
Are you caught in a conflict with a family member, in the workplace, or with a neighbor or business? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on topics like conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us at 509-888-0957 or www.wvdrc.org to learn more.
Hey, Wenatchee Valley, this is Ben Griffin. I'm here with my friend Eddie the Yeti. He wants to share some big news.
Arctic Refrigeration is now employee-owned and has a new name, Columbia Cooling and Refrigeration. I want you to remember this summer, when you're hot and sweaty, call the Eddie.
No, it's called the Yeti, Y-E-T-I, not called the Eddie.
Whatever. We are a factory-authorized Bryant dealer, whatever it takes.
Give us a call at Columbia Cooling and Refrigeration at 509-662-5911.
This is the NCW Live concert calendar. Fridays, it's live music at Alta Cellars in downtown Manson from 4 to 7 p.m. Sunday, it's Succession Winery located between Chelan and Manson with live music from 2 to 5. Chelan Cellars and Sorrento's Restaurante present music on Mondays at 4 p.m. weekly. Check the individual websites for more information. That's the NCW Live concert calendar.
As AmeriCorps members and volunteers, we do more than talk about our core values. We take action and commit to making our community stronger.
At AmeriCorps, my commitment to equity gives every student a strong start.
Our compassion brings food and friendship to neighbors in need.
My determination protects parks in my community.
Now more than ever, your community needs you. What's at your core? Learn more at AmeriCorps.gov.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. We're here at the lovely campus of the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center with the brand new executive director, who's no stranger to anybody who's lived in the Wenatchee Valley over the past 30 years, an old friend of mine, dating back to her Red Cross days. Mariah Thornock has the keys to the building and knows where everything is. Congratulations on the new gig.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's good to be back together again.
So you've been with the museum for quite some time. Kenny decided to leave to pursue other interests, and good for her, onward and upward for Kenny Sturgeon. So the job opened up for executive director, the person in charge. First of all, you had to show your interest. So walk me through that whole process from the time Kenny said, I'm leaving, to you got the phone call and saying, you want the gig. Walk me through that whole thing.
Yeah, so when Kenny let the board know that she was leaving, the board decided to bring on a recruiting firm to help them with the search. So this was a nationwide search that they undertook, but they really focused it in the Pacific Northwest, looking for somebody who had museum experience, nonprofit experience. They spent some time deciding what they wanted the position to look like, if they wanted to make any changes from Kenny, particularly knowing that we wanted to, do big, great things in the future and find a person that would fit that. This spring, I decided that this was the right time for me to throw my hat in the ring, as you'd say. So I went through the same process that everybody else did. I reached out to the recruiting firm, and I let them know that I'd like to submit an application. I let the board know, and our interim directors, let my boss know that I was applying for a job. Did all of the same stuff, sent in a resume, went through interviews with the board, and it went pretty quick. I actually had my interview about 2 weeks ago, got notified about a week ago, and started on Friday.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Just like that. So the search firm probably found 25, 30 candidates, and then before any one-on-one interviews, they whittled it down to what, like half a dozen or so, and then they were presented to the board, which whittled it down even more. At what point was it a one-on-one thing with the board as with other finalists?
About 2 weeks ago, we had one-on-one interviews with the board, and so there was a lot of steps that they put us through. It was a phone interview with or a video chat with the board president. We had a series of questions. I had several pages of questions that I answered. Went through a personality test, so got to know a little bit more about myself.
Oh, congratulations on having a personality.
That's right.
I ordered one on Amazon. It should be here any day.
One that you can test. And then after had some conversations with the recruiting firm, and then after those initial kind of breakthrough steps, then we had the board interviews.
At what point did you go home and say, "Honey, I'm doing pretty good"? Was there any kind of that in your mind to say, "I think I'm doing good. I may have a chance here"?
You know, about 5 minutes after I got the phone call that I got the job.
Well, tell me about that. The president of the board, I'm sure, made the phone call, right? Kathleen, is she the one who called?
Actually, it was the woman that was heading up the search. It was the chair of our personnel committee, Stephanie Stauffer. She's been on the board for about 3 years now and has a lot of great HR experience. So she was the one that made the call. And delightful person, somebody you always want to get a call from, regardless. Mm-hmm. So it was pretty exciting. Yeah, you know, I think because getting the position meant so much to me that there wasn't any way in my brain that I was going to let myself believe that I was doing great. You know, I had to couch it just in case.
You've been with the museum for a while, so you've built up relations with the employees, the board, your patrons, especially the deep-pocketed patrons who donate on a regular basis. That couldn't have hurt.
No, and it's, you know, I think it's my favorite part about getting this job. I mean, when I left the Red Cross, one of the hardest things was leaving a staff that I loved, leaving amazing volunteers, having to tell a board that I thought was great. This time, I get to bring all my friends along with me, and that's not often that you get to do that. So the transition, you know, is going to be a big one in the sense of I've got to figure out my priorities were with one. You know, in one area when I was director of ops, I've got to pivot that, but I get to do that with a team that I know and love, with a board that I'm already familiar with patrons and members that I've been at events with for the last almost 9 years. So I feel like I have a real leg up in that sense.
I'm sure one of the questions that they asked you during the interview process is, what's your vision for the museum? Not only the physical layout, but the museum itself. How do you answer that? I mean, that's a big umbrella, I know, but they had to have asked you that, right?
Well, I think definitely the in that I had is that I know the museum has a really solid vision for where it wants to go in the next 5 to 10 years. And so my job is to embrace that vision, which I already did. I think it's amazing. But then talk about how I would be able to fulfill that vision, how I bought into it, how I see that vision rolling out. And even after that's done, where are we going to go next? 10 years from now, where do I think that we could start to take the museum in a different direction or build it up further? So mine was that you've got an amazing vision. I'm bought in. I love it. Here's how we're going to make it happen.
We talked about this before we roll cameras. The physical layout of the building, there's been a lot of improvements have been made. They have a brand new AV system, which was just put in, that was funded through the legislature. Thank you, local legislators, for making that happen. So that little headache has been taken care of, which allows you to have more events. Now that we're through COVID, is this place going to really, I mean, I know we're through COVID, but it takes a little while for the momentum to get back, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. And for people to feel comfortable to reset their routines, we've been thoughtful about that. We have an exhibit coming in this fall, which I think is going to help that. Your viewers might have remembered about 2019, we brought in a children's museum exhibit from Boston. We're doing something similar to that this fall. It's going to come from OMSI. I think it's going to be just as exciting. It's going to be fairly relevant, and I think it'll give people a chance to rediscover the museum again.
And so, since you were an insider, the learning curve, I'm assuming, isn't that too difficult. I mean, you're now in charge, but the fact that you know everybody and have a general idea what everybody is supposed to be doing at any given time, you're probably eases that transition period for you a little bit, doesn't it? It
does, yeah. It lets me hit the ground running a little bit harder. You know, I know the challenges that some of our staff is facing. I can help them in a higher capacity. I also get to take time to dig in with all of the staff on things that they're working through and see if how we can support them better. Whereas I had my team before that I worked more closely with. So this is going to give me a chance to work with the staff in a different way. It's also going to give me an opportunity to go out to people that you knew me as director of operations. Now you get to know me as executive director, and hopefully those relationships will blossom as well.
Well, as the new executive director, Mariah Thornock, I'll let you have the final word on whatever message you have for the viewers of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, all 900,000 of them. I'll let you take it home.
Yeah, well, I'm incredibly excited. I'm thrilled to be taking on this opportunity. I hope people come down and check out what we're having here at the museum. In addition to Zoo and You, Night at the Museum is coming up. And I know many of you, but I want to get to know many of you more. So come to any of those events, stop me on the street, say hi, and I'll tell you what's going on at the museum. Congratulations on the gig. Again, I've known Mariah for a long time, and I can't think of somebody better suited for the job than you. Thank you so much. Yeah, have fun. That's the most important thing. Have fun. Absolutely. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the Diagnostic Doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units. Brian's Pizza and Bowling is changing their name to That Pizza Place. Now, there's still your same favorite locally owned family pizza and bowling center, That Pizza Place. Come hang out in downtown Cashmere.
The NCW Life Channel offers marketing packages that help you build your brand and sell your products and services. From traditional TV ads to targeted digital campaigns, let us help you build your customer base. Call NCW Life Channel today.
Bob's Burgers and Brews in East Wenatchee. Come enjoy great food, great service, and a great time. Only the best for our guests. We look forward to serving you. Stop on by today.
The NCW Life Channel offers marketing packages that help you build your brand and sell your products and services. From traditional TV ads to targeted digital campaigns, let us help you build your customer base. Call NCW Life Channel today.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. You can lift this up.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
Ooh. You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Just a few clouds out there. 64 degrees now here in the big city. Temperatures around the region. Ephrata, congratulations. You get the Warm Spot Award. You're 72 out in Ephrata. Moses Lake isn't that far from Ephrata. It's only 64 in Moses Lake. And we always check in with Dryden. Dryden at 62 in downtown Dryden. Suburban Dryden also 62 degrees. We have a few minutes, so we thought we'd take another tour around north central Washington and the Wenatchee Valley with our cameras. And once again, the Wenatchee Heights camera gets to take center stage. That's a 4K camera. That means it costs us $4,000. Anyway, it's a spectacular view. And even though that's a stunning view with an unbelievable high definition and the great colors, it really doesn't do justice to the naked eye. Actually looking from that with yourself going up there is just a stunning view. Just beautiful. One of the reasons that we live here is it's so darn beautiful. So good morning to the Wenatchee Valley proper. And now, the good captain will continue our tour. So it's back up to Stamen Flats. So again, he moved the cameras. Thank you very much, Captain Wagner. That's, what's that? Yeah, I don't have a memory, Captain. Good morning to our friends at Stamen Flats and the beautiful Columbia River, which is still running high and running cold. Here we are, the 8th day of July, and it's pretty chilly. I think it was 61 degrees, the temperature of the water at the Columbia River here in Wenatchee the last time I checked, but that was a couple of days ago. Might have warmed up a little bit since then. Camera number 3. Captain does not want to go to camera. He does. Okay, we're going back up to look at the foothills high above Dryden. At the bottom of your screen, you can see the roadway that eventually dumps you into the backside of Dryden, or if you want to, up Alala Canyon. Nice view there. Beautiful view. The Peshastin Pinnacles Park just out of your view on the right of your picture, and you can see a lot of orchards hanging in there. Grow away, guys. We know that the cherries are going to have a pretty rough year because of the cold and the rain. How the rest of the tree fruits are going to do, I don't know. As far as peaches and apples and pears, we won't know until maybe a little bit later on. And of course, my personal favorite, the pluots. Camera number 3. Once again, Detroit, Michigan. Checks. Oh, he's going to zoom it out on television to let me know that we're using the Cascadian camera. That's really good. So we were looking at Birch Mountain is what we were looking at earlier today that I couldn't quite figure that out. We have 2 cameras on the roof of the Cascadian. It's one of the highest points in downtown Wenatchee. One is the north and one goes to the south. Traffic is rolling smoothly right now on Mission and on in Wenatchee. Who's moving it around a little bit. Cool. I like that, Captain. That's pretty cool. And now we're going to zoom in to say good morning to the greater Sunny Slope area. Hey, Captain, that is a tool, not a toy. We do want to show you again from the Climate Prediction Center the long-term outlook for basically the back half of the month of July, and it is going to be warm. As you can see there, this is your 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. It begins July 13th, so early next week, and it goes all the way through most of next week. They came out with this yesterday afternoon. I wanted to show it to you. If you want to avoid the heat, avoid southern Texas and southern Montana and a little bit of Wyoming and Idaho. It's going to be very warm there, but as you can see, most of the western United States have a better than 50-50 chance of above normal temperatures, and that does include us here in eastern Washington and in the north central Washington area. And as far as precipitation, over the 6 to 10 day outlook, again from July 13th through the 17th, July is always the driest month of the year. And as you can see, it's going to be about a 50-50 chance of what would be normal precipitation, which is pretty much nothing. It looks like there's going to be quite a bit of rain in the Utah area, northern Arizona, and eastern Nevada, and quite a bit of rain along the Atlantic coast with North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia getting a pretty good dose of rain, and pretty dry in the upper Midwest. But let's be concerned more about us here in north central Washington. From the National Weather Service, here's your forecast. Sunshine today, although it's going to be a little bit breezy. There's an upper level trough. It's going to swing over the top of the high pressure ridge. The high pressure ridge right now is kind of flat, and that does allow some weak weather systems to come in over the top of it, which is why you see those really high clouds. But it's also going to make it a little breezy at times today. A northwest wind about 5 to 11 miles an hour. Gusts about 20 at times today. Tonight, clear skies, 57 for the overnight low, still breezy. West wind about 7 to 14 miles an hour, gusts as high as 22 miles an hour. Not real windy on Saturday. We'll see some rogue winds here and there, but for the most part, sunshine at a high of 84 degrees. Saturday night, still a little on the breezy side, 58 for the overnight low. Sunday, by the afternoon hours, we'll be done with the wind, and the ridge, which is now a flat high pressure ridge, is now going to make itself a dome of high pressure. That's going to build up over the region, and here comes our warm-up. It starts really on Monday with a high of about 90. We haven't hit 90 too much this year, have we? Even though it's now pretty much the middle of July. 65 for the overnight low on Monday night. Tuesday up to 96 Hottest day of the year, definitely on Tuesday with an overnight low very mild of 65 degrees. Oh, my air conditioner works. 92 our forecast high on Wednesday, so we're going to cool down just a little bit, but still lots of sunshine. And for most people, once you get into the 90s, I think we've transitioned from warm to hot. It's a personal preference, of course. And that is it for us. Have yourself a fantabulous weekend, and we will see you Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.